I think I underestimated how much work there is to become a structural engineer. You know, there is this misconception by people that engineering is all about calculations and everything. Or sometimes people, they'll ask you, what software do you know? And for them, it's like, okay, when you can draw, then it's fine. And I'm talking about things like Revit, AutoCAD, and everything, but those are just modeling. And for people, that's the interest, like, okay, can you draw lines and everything? Yes, you can draw, but the whole essence of structural engineering is you understanding the design and analysis that goes into those things. And that's where everyone gets separated. Like probably a civil engineer and a structural engineer, that's why you separate them. I know most people are fond of saying I'm a civil structural engineer, which to me doesn't make sense because a structural engineer itself you have to master. It's a whole different field, hey? And if I say, because there are these things like someone will present to you, like what the assignment I'm doing right now, it's about conceptual design. Like maybe a client comes to you, they don't have an idea of the sizes of beams, the size of columns, slabs, and everything. And you, as a civil engineer, you have to build everything from scratch. You have to come up with a conceptual design, a scheme design, all those kind of things. And that's what gets interesting. And for me, as a civil engineer, I didn't understand that aspect of conceptual design because most of the times the designs are already done and they come to you and you don't go into those details of sizing and everything. So for anyone who is what am I even communicating? But yeah, I just want to share, like, for everyone who is considering to become a structural engineer, there is more reading to do as well, because even as you embark on, let's say, designing of a beam, column, slabs, foundations, all those kind of things, there are reference books that you have to use. So it's not just about calculations. There are so many reference books that you have to use: the structural engineers pocketbook, the manuals from iStruct E, those kind of books, the Eurocodes if you are studying using the Eurocodes, which I'm doing, and you have to use those hand in hand as you are working out your calculations. So in as much as it is all about calculations, it's also about reading. You need to read. If you don't read, you won't understand why a certain formula is used. There are things that you can use, like when you're designing a beam, for example, you can use moment distribution or you can use coefficients. And it's not all the time that the coefficient method can be used. And if you don't read, you won't know that it's not all the time the coefficient method can be used. And some people run to softwares, but I think for you to really understand what the software is doing, you really need to know your manual calculations. And so for me, right now, my interest is not all about, okay, I should use the software. I think my concentration is how can I be good at manual calculations, so whatever I import in a software, I'll understand. Like, it's more like what the most structural engineers say, garbage in, garbage out. Like, you really need to understand what you're putting in a software. It's not all about, I can use the software, but are you understanding what you're inputting in the software? Can you interpret it? Or if there's no software, can you design and produce drawings and making sure like the steel reinforcements are sitting in the right places and everything? So it's quite interesting actually. So I would encourage everyone to read. Every time I read and I take some time to read and see, I'm like, oh, actually reading is nice, it's not so bad. So those are some of the things about structural engineering. Otherwise it needs a lot of time. Yeah, it's more like you become a learner, because most people don't understand if you say I have to read. They're like, you're exaggerating. But truly, if you don't read, you you get left behind on a lot of things, because there's a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of things you have to understand, why this is like that, and there's a lot of things to reference books again. So that's about it, about my my journey. I hope you got something from this video. I think in the future I'm going to recommend some of the books that have helped me for those people who are planning on becoming structural engineers. I'll recommend some books that have helped me in some subject. So for now, bye, as I go and finish up my advanced concrete assignment. Bye.